How's it going, everyone? I'm Buddy, this is my fiance Emily, and today we're going to be talking about our tips, tricks, and the best of Walt Disney World.
And the worst stuff.
And the worst stuff, the best and worst, even though that's a thing. Shout out to Diz Unplugged.
Oh,
but
bad.
That's okay. Hire me. In our last episode, we talked about our general experience at Disney World, and this time we're going to be getting more specific. If you haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you know when I post new videos. And if you give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend, that would be greatly appreciated. So you compiled our list today, so why don't you get us started with our first tip?
Okay, so first tip is something that I specifically want to talk about because it's something that affected me. I want to talk about shoes, which most people would do a logical thing and just say, here's my shoes, gonna bring them to Disney. I, on the other hand, was an idiot, and I was like, oh, I need these cool new sandals that everyone has, the Tevas, whatever they are. I need some, but they don't make them in my size because my feet are big, so I'm gonna go buy Payless knockoffs and try and wear them to Disney without breaking them in first. By the second day, I had blisters all over my feet. My feet were killing me. There was no support. So we actually ended up leaving one of the parks early to go and buy Nikes at a Nike store.
Just a random shoe store, yeah.
Just a random, I think it was a Nike outlet. And I spent $70 on new shoes. And while I no longer had blisters, I then had to wear unbroken in shoes. I ended up getting a black toenail from the uncomfortableness. Actual blood just clipped off the last blood like 3 weeks ago.
She was fine.
I was not fine. I was bleeding from my feet.
Okay, so now what I would say is the most important tip and trick here is everyone's got one of these bad boys. You need to get the Disney Experience app because that goes with a lot of these, and I definitely think if you're going, you need to have this app because that's where you're going to get your fast passes, that's where you're going to make your dining reservations. There's maps on there, it tells you wait times, it tells you when the character meet and greets are. Everything you need to know is on that app. And speaking of fast pass, you got to be a fast pass hustler. Book your fast passes as early as you can, and while you're at the park, you need to constantly be on that app.
Oh, yeah.
Because things change, people cancel their fast passes, and once you use your first 3 that you've booked in advance, you can get an additional one every single time. So basically, when we were there, we didn't really wait in any lines. I think the longest line we waited in was about a half hour.
I think we waited in one line for an hour, but that's it.
Yeah.
I think we waited in Peter Pan for about an hour.
Yeah, Peter Pan for about an hour.
But without that fast pass, we would not have been able to go on the new Avatar ride. What's the name of it?
Flight of Passage.
Flight of Passage, because the line was 3 hours long. But Buddy was constantly on his phone just checking and checking, and all of a sudden, like 15 minutes before the time of the ride, a fast pass showed up, and we took it and hustled over there.
Yes, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
And speaking of phones, definitely bring some sort of
Battery
portable charger.
Yeah. I brought one that has a outlet plug right on it. So while it was raining one time we were inside, I think the Aerosmith ride, I even had the battery charger plugged into the wall, had my phone plugged into that, so we were also charging the battery charger and the phones at the same time, and it was just a lifesaver, especially if you're going to use that app.
Yes,
Yeah.
And while you're on that app, make sure you book your food as early as you can. You can view the menus if you have herbivores with you who don't eat meat. You need to check everything out.
Vegans, gluten-free, picky eaters, kids, you should check that out for sure.
Yes. Something we did because we were kind of on a budget, we stayed in an Airbnb. We didn't stay on property. The particular one we stayed at was just like a children's bedroom in this apartment. But it was nice. It was like $50 a night, and the hotels get pretty steep. Obviously, if you have the money, I would recommend doing that because you can utilize the bus service, extra magic hours. But if you're on a budget, I think Airbnb is a good option. Also, if you're on a budget, you don't want to be eating in the park constantly. For us, we set aside 1 meal a day. We want one nice meal in the parks every day, and that was just a personal choice for us.
Yeah.
But during the day, we would just have snacks that we had brought.
Yeah.
And
in
just
the backpack.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot more worth your money if you eat one nice sit-down meal where you can have a seat, get some nice ice water, you can experience the AC rather than getting 2-3 snacks and a quick service or something. And the price, I think, for those snacks and quick service would be the same, if not more, than going to the restaurant. So the restaurant food is good. Just go there.
And also another tip with the restaurants, I would definitely suggest not dining at your typical lunch or dinner times. If you're going to have lunch, probably do it around 2 or 3. And if you're going to have dinner, do it around like 7 or 8. Mm-hmm. Because if you try going at noon or if you try going at 5 or 6, like it's going to be impossible. Especially if you didn't get a reservation. Like, way in advance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would just recommend making a reservation in general. Go on the app and do that, because if not, you might not be able to eat at the place you want to eat at.
And when we did our reservations, we did all of our reservations the day of, but that might not always be the case. So that's another thing you should do in advance.
Yeah.
Next on the list is something very near and dear to your heart, so you just go ahead.
Oh, that one? Okay, for women out there, I know this is probably not in Buddy's realm of what he talked about on his channel, but for women who have thighs.
Men have thighs too.
Okay, even men. There are many chafing creams out there, especially if you're going to be wearing shorts or like a maxi dress or something. Go on Amazon, go to Walmart, whatever, buy chafing cream. I think I actually bought like the Monistat chafing cream, and it was an absolute lifesaver. You're not gonna be rubbing all day, because you're walking. I mean, the one day we walked 12 or 13 miles.
Yeah.
So you're definitely gonna want to be comfortable. It's hot, it's humid, it's gonna rain. Your shorts, your pants are gonna get wet, and they're gonna chafe together, and you're not gonna like that. So just straight up, buy the cream, even if you're a dude.
I would say on average, even because we went like hardcore, we rode every single thing and we were going boom, boom, boom. But I would say like on average, you're gonna walk at least 8 to 10 miles a day, like no matter what.
Yeah, unless you're someone
who's not trying to ride a lot of stuff.
Yeah, or for example, when my grandmother goes, she rides
a couple
rides, likes to sit and people watch. Apparently, she was telling me about that. She likes to sit and people watch and all that. Yeah. But would recommend chafing cream.
What's the next on your list?
Oh, with chafing cream, blister pads, recommend for absolutely everyone. Bring more than you think you're going to need, because if you reach an experience like me where I had the wrong shoes on, or even if you have the right shoes on, you're probably going to get a blister, especially when it rains again and your shoes are rubbing against your socks, rubbing against, it's just bad. So put those in your backpack, take them out of the box, make room, and keep those on you, especially for kids, because they'll probably cry and complain and want to go home.
So you have hair. So what is
hair? Another thing. I thought it was a good idea to straighten my hair, and if you're going to Disney World, you're in Florida, and if you have not been to Florida, it's hot and it's humid, and every single day, 95% chance it will rain at some point, so it'll get more humid. And if you have curly hair and are trying to straighten it, or have straightened hair and trying to curl it, there's really no point unless you want pictures to look good for the first half of the day. Because by the end of the day, you're just going to be a frizzy mess again, and you just kind of have to deal with it. Yeah. So don't worry too much about the heat tools or anything.
For guys, who cares?
Yeah.
Let's see. Disposable ponchos. Yes. When we were there in July, and it rained heavily every single day we were there.
It's not a sprinkle. It's like a hurricane.
Yeah, it's a torrential downpour.
Yeah.
So definitely bring ponchos, and I would say get a poncho for every single day you're there, because if you try reusing them, they're gonna be stinky and ruined, and it's rough.
What we did is we brought 2 disposable like Dollar Tree ponchos,
and it was not good.
It was good that we brought Dollar Tree ones, because in the park I think ponchos can run
buy them
$15,
buy them
$20.
outside of the park.
Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah.
Our next thing is about souvenirs, and basically it's for you guys to judge for yourself what is important to you, what isn't. Like I said in the previous video, I bought her a Stitch stuffed animal, but typically I would not do that because you can get a lot of those in normal stores. I would say the same thing for t-shirts and stuff like that. And I also say to get the Disney Park store app, because a lot of times when I was in the store, I was looking at the app to see if things were cheaper online to get it shipped. In a lot of cases, I would see something in a store and buy it on the app and get it shipped home, so we didn't have to bring it on the plane or anything as well.
Yeah. And also, don't feel like just because you're going to Disney World, you have to buy your cousins, your friends, your teachers, your coworkers a gift. we bought gifts for
our immediate family,
close family, and those who helped us get to Disney World.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a very nice gesture. If it's an expensive trip, so if someone's helping you out, it might be nice to get them a little something, or even just a nice handwritten note. But just be choosy with your souvenirs, because honestly, not all of them are the highest quality as well.
Yes. Also, do not pay for bottled water inside of the park. Bring a water bottle, and they'll fill it up for you for free at any quick service.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's all the tips and tricks that we have at this time. We might make an update video at some point in the future, but let's get to some of the things we thought were the best and some of the things we thought were the worst. Hey everyone, so this video ended up being a little bit longer than we expected, so part 3 is coming very soon, where we talk about the best and worst of Walt Disney World. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel so you don't miss it, and you can click any of the links on the screen to see some of my other videos. Take care, and we'll see you next time.